Rental hike has become the biggest economic challenge facing the residents of Lagos and other places in Nigeria. And the sad reality is that the prices of rents are not coming down any sooner. This might even be the cheapest we would ever experience. This is not about landlords arbitrarily increasing rent anyhow or house agents padding the prices of rent in Lagos. It is way beyond this, and it is actually not even in the control of these landlords. The question now is, why is the price of rent perpetually on the increase in Lagos, Nigeria? This is the question we seek to answer in this video today. I am Patrick, your Lagos Realtor. Welcome to this space where we discuss issues that affect real estate. If this is your first time seeing our content, like our videos and subscribe to our channel. We're trying to hit 5k subscribers at the end of this year, and please join us on this journey. Also, turn on your notification button so that when we drop a new content, you will be notified. When we get back, we'll be looking at why the cost of rent would most likely get worse than what it is today. The biggest reason why the prices of rent keep surging high and might continue perpetually if nothing is done is because of the housing deficit. The housing deficit right now is enormous, and right now housing deficit is estimated to be 14.9 million units in Nigeria. So it simply means that almost 15 million families are looking for places to stay, and only Lagos has about 2.7 million units, 2.7 million housing deficit in Lagos. So this is the biggest problem. This is the biggest reason why the prices of rent keeps going higher, and I would explain this deeper. Every day in Lagos, people keep coming into Lagos. The population keeps increasing. People keep migrating into Lagos, and definitely these people would need houses to stay. In the last 7 years, the Lagos state government has built just few units over 10,000. I think about 10,000. About 10,623 housing units has been delivered by Lagos in 7 years, and the housing deficit is in millions, 2.7 million. So this simply is not close to what is expected to meet up the housing deficit. The government isn't doing so much providing affordable housing. Those who now undertake this are individuals, are landlords who now try to make up for whatever the government is not doing. So what we are experiencing simply is a situation whereby demand exceeds supply. Now you have 2.7 million units that must be available for us to have a balanced situation, but right now that is not met. So the more people come into Lagos, the more housing units that is in demand, and in this situation the landlords become kings. They become alpha and omega. They now decide what price they're going to fix their housing. So it is now left to the tenants to accept or not to accept. So this is the biggest problem right now. The fact that the housing deficit in Lagos is over 2.7 million, and in 7 years the government has only provided for about 10,623 units. It's a big problem. So it is not a situation whereby the landlord decides ultimately how much his rent will cost. So now, are the landlords greedy to determine what their house will cost? No. And this is because inflation has a way of affecting rental prices. Let me explain. Right now, inflation in Nigeria is about 16%, and this simply affects every aspect of our lives. It affects the cost of feeding, it affects transportation, it affects the cost of buying building materials, it affects the cost of building houses. Now, some might argue that we can understand that new houses should charge higher rent than old houses. So landlords will argue that the houses they built 10-20 years ago are the source of their own livelihood. It is the business they decided to undertake. So if inflation goes as high as 16%, which affects everybody, it has to also affect the business which they undertake, because they definitely sell real estate to you. So if they go to the market to buy fuel and prices has gone up 16%, if they go to buy food and prices has gone up 16%, if they need to do one or two things and prices has gone up 16%, it simply means that it has to also reflect in what they also are selling. So ultimately, whatever the inflationary price is, they will push it down on their tenants in the form of high prices in rent. So aside the fact that we're having housing deficits, a major problem is that the cost of building materials has also gone up, and it keeps going up. So these are the two biggest problems. These are the reasons why we might not see rents coming down anytime soon if nothing is done. If nothing is done, it might not come down. The only thing the government can do is maybe to regulate, fix maybe a maximum price where certain rents cannot go beyond. But saying they must pay, landlords must collect this or collect that, it's almost going to be very, very impossible. So this is a problem, and these are the two biggest reasons for this problem. All of this, the hike in price of rent, is really impacting on the lives of Lagosians, because it's making people move out of Lagos or move to areas where rents are relatively affordable and cheap. And this would mean that for so many people, they will be going farther away from maybe their source of livelihood, because one of the factors that determines where you stay is where you earn your money. So for most persons who live in Lekki, they earn their livelihood around Lekki. Probably they work around Lekki, or they work around Victoria Island, thereabouts, or they have shops and all they do their business in the area. Now that even a 2-bedroom in Lekki right now, in Lekki Phase 1, is about 10 million, 12 million naira, it forces most of these people to move away from all those places, to move away from Lekki and come down further areas that are more affordable and cheaper. It is affecting the lives of people. It simply means that people will now have to start going far distance to their place of work. They're going to start spending more on transportation and all those things. What I've noticed recently is people who used to comfortably stay in Lekki now are moving down to Ajah, to where they can easily afford the prices of rent. Those who stay in Ajah and its environs are being pushed further down Awoyaya, down Abidjan. Those who are in Abidjan, once landlord increases rent, in fact, a 2-bedroom in Abidjan Jare right now is almost 2.5 million, 3 million naira. So for those who cannot afford it, they are moving further down to Ikoyi and the rest. So it's affecting the lives of Lagosians, and if we are not careful, most persons would have to leave Lagos. Those who cannot afford, those who cannot stand the heat right now, will be forced to neighboring towns, neighboring places in Lagos, Nigeria. Right now, we see some persons moving towards, some persons who work in Ikeja, work in Bega. They come to work, they live as far as Mowe, Ibafo and the rest, Alagbado and the rest. So this is what the rental situation is causing in Lagos right now. So the truth is, we cannot totally blame the landlords, because for so many of them, it is their source of livelihood. The big question now is, how do we fix this issue, the issue of rental hikes in Lagos? The government not living up to expectation, and it is now in the hands of individuals to provide housing, and this is where the problem is. And the sincere solution to this, I keep telling people, most Christians might not want to accept this, but the sincere solution to this is that all of us become landlord. This is the only solution. If you cannot beat them, you join them. We are not yet in a sophisticated society whereby the government regulates real estate, regulate prices, and all those things. So the truth right now is that if you cannot beat them, you join them. My advice is for everyone to start becoming landlords. Try to become a landlord. You don't need to wait till you get all the money in the world to become a landlord. You can start from little. You can go to areas where lands are sold for as low as 500, 700,000 and start something. This is the only way we can help in curbing the housing deficit. It's not an easy solution, but the truth is this is the reality of this time. The government can barely meet up with this, and if we are always going to complain about landlords, it's not going to solve the problem. Let everybody also, if you can, try to build your own houses. Until we see again, stay safe and keep investing in safe real estate.